In this weekend's 3 scripture readings, a theme stood out to me: fear. In Acts, we see how some people are afraid to join the disciples that they respect for fear of the Jewish leaders. In Revelations, we see Jesus is telling John not to be afraid of what he is witnessing. And in John, we see the disciples are hiding in the upper room, afraid of the Jewish leaders after they killed Jesus, fearing they were next. Fear is real and can be crippling and paralyzing. There was a period in my life, many years ago, when I was going through a dispute with somebody who had authority over me. This person felt like a giant to me, and I was an ant. It was a terrifying time for me. I hated confrontation, and I still do. But I felt a moral duty to see this through for the good of those other ants who followed behind me. There was one day I had to face this person and share my side of the story. I was paralyzed with fear. My legs felt like concrete. I could hardly get them to move. This was crippling fear, but I had to keep moving forward. I had to see this through. How did I overcome this fear? The same way the disciples did and John did: Jesus. I meditated on his word day and night. I felt like he was answering me and telling me to trust him. Any scripture that spoke to me, I wrote it down and I would read it every time fear started to well up inside me like a volcano about to blow. One that especially was comforting was this one from Psalm 91. Verse 1 says, "Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty." Verse 4 goes on to say, "For he will rescue you from every trap and protect you. He will shield you with his wings. He will shelter you with his feathers. His faithful promises are your armor and protection." I would read and pray with these verses, inserting my name in there. On the dreaded day when I had to face this person, my giant, I was attempting to walk down the sidewalk with what felt like concrete pillars for legs. I looked down and I found this, a white feather, and all my fear just melted. I knew God was with me. He was telling me he would shelter me with his feathers. And instead of fear welling up, a sense of being loved and protected by the one who loves me more than anything I can imagine caused my fear to dissipate like the morning fog and the afternoon sun. What are you afraid of? Rejection? Financial disaster? A horrible diagnosis? Relationship ruptures? Now let me ask you this. What are you missing out on because of this fear? Friends, fear is a part of this life, but our God is bigger than our circumstances. 2 Timothy says that God tells us not to be afraid or anxious because he has not given us a spirit of fear. Fear is a weapon of Satan intended to sabotage our future. Satan wants to keep us bound up in fear. Christ wants to free us from it and walk with us through it to the other side. He is our defense and our protector. If he is for us, who can be against us? I want to encourage you in whatever it is you may be dealing with that has you feeling overwhelmed with fear, to take it to God, call out to him with it, and ask him to come and walk with you. Read scripture and pray it with your name in there. Scripture is one of the pieces of armor God gives us as a weapon against the enemy. Use it. And remember, in times like this, it's the size of your God, not the size of your giant that counts. With God on your side, you cannot lose. Without him, you cannot win.